Welcome to the Effortlessly Abundant Life podcast. I'm Natalia, a certified hypnotherapist and a mindset shifter. Not too long ago, I was a broke, burned out, multi-passionate, single woman to now making six figures effortlessly, marrying the love of my life and attracting what I want by using my unique bridge method. I'm here to help you achieve the results you want in any area of your life by owning your true unique self with less doing, less stress, and definitely less effort. Now let's jump to today's episode in 3, 2, 1. Welcome, my loves, to the Effortlessly Abundant Life podcast. I'm so happy you're here with me. And oh boy, I have such a treat for you. I decided in the next 3 episodes to give you a sneak peek of Break the Matrix, the 3-day exclusive free event that I hosted last week, and give you guys the kind of like the sneak peek from each day so you can really kind of have an understanding of what we were talking about. We were focusing on what's actually happening in the world on the physical level, on the energetic level, how to start breaking and shedding the simulation, the matrix, the beliefs, the things that we think we are, so we can really create a life that actually feels authentic to us, that is actually free, that is actually abundant. And it was so life transformative already. And if you want to see the replay and have access, you can see it in the description bar below. But just on October 15, we're starting my signature program called Break the Matrix and Break Free. This is a 12-week, honestly, the most transformative program that I created and I seen out there, because it combines subconscious rewiring, hypnotherapy, as you know, somatics, breath work, spiritual tools, and so much more. And honestly, everything that I learned that helped me to create a life of true abundance, of true freedom and peace. And even though I live in the matrix still, right? It's not like I'm living off grid somewhere. I feel free. I feel happy. I feel at peace. I feel connected. And with all the chaos that's happening right now in the world, as you know, it's just the beginning. And you're going to find yourself holding and needing to hold to something. But the truth is, the only thing you can hold on to is to deepen your relationship with yourself and source, because that's what you truly are. You're an extension of source. So within those 12 weeks, we're going to unshed and completely rewire and cleanse and clear all these limited beliefs that were put upon you since the day you were born till the age of 7 and up, and really find it. What is it that you really want to create? What kind of life you want to create? What kind of person you want to be? And create this version of yourself and this life for yourself together, using all these proven, not just BS, but truly proven methods that help me and help my clients. And now it's going to help you. And as I mentioned, this is going to be truly one of a kind program. So if you're interested to listen and hear more about this, everything is in the description bar below. And with no further ado, let's jump to today's episode. The Matrix is, probably you heard about it from the movie that we came across in 1999, but it's so interesting. They always show us the truth through fiction, science fiction, or some kind of like animation, something that we're not going to take on a subconscious level seriously. But because of law of karma, they have to show their plans. They have to show the truth in some way or capacity, because they cannot override our free will. But what's interesting in that movie, finally, it was this idea bringing that we live right now in some kind of an illusion. Because the reality that we're living currently right now is being orchestrated for us. It's not actually we created it. We've just been born into it and we keep feeding it. And the only reason why the matrix has power is because we, the people, give it the power. Because, as I said, they control the school system, they control pharmaceutical, they control the food industry, they control your water, they control your air, they control your media, they control every single part of your life. And within the age of 0 to 7, you are being completely programmed into that. And now at the young age of 6 months, 4 months, women and moms are sending their children into daycare. So just imagine the programming that is happening in a very young age. And we all been programmed. All of us. How much of your choices are really actually yours? We're going to talk about it soon. But think about, like, you bought, let's say, why are you buying iPhone? Why are you buying the sneakers that you buy? Why you want to use a certain brand versus the other? Why you choosing X versus B? Everything is being bombarded and, through social media, through everything around you to kind of like control your choices. And that's what they do. Because the most important asset that for them is actually our focus and our choice and our energy. That is the most important asset. That's why they work so hard to distract us through scrolling on TikTok, on, our reels, on Facebook back in the day, if you remember, on YouTube, Netflix. They don't want us to be and see what's actually happening. They always keep us distracted and always busy working many hours to be barely have enough money to just live. And you're just living this cycle of survival. There's no like actual free thinking and like philosophical, like figure out what you want to do with your life and live a purpose. Like, no, there's none of that. And that is the sad part. And they do it so it makes it really incredibly hard for us to rise into our own potential, to our unity, and actually fulfill our purpose. That's what they scared the most, for us to know the truth and actually unite, because what they thrive on is actually dividing us. Oh, you are going with this, you're choosing this person. Oh, you're canceled, right? And they, same thing with the algorithm that we see in on TikTok, on Reels, like you're gonna see more of whatever it is that you believe. And you see it so vividly in the last 4 years. People are so divided. People like will kill for whatever they believe. And they forget that the real enemy is not each other. It's actually who's controlling the whole scenario, because it's so much easier for them to control us when we're divided, when we're fighting each other, when we're completely distracted and we're completely exhausted and overburned because we're working so hard. But that is not why we came to planet Earth as souls. We're not came here to be slaves. We're not here to just pay the rent and pay taxes and just live this boring freaking life. That's not what we're here for. And it's so interesting. I saw this post and I had to share it with you. They don't even hide it. And it's so interesting. There's this woman that asked ChatGPT, if you were Satan, right? If we talk about the spiritual kind of kind of perspective on those things, and you wanted to stop young women from meeting her potential and fulfilling her life purpose, how would you do it? And of course, it correlates to men as well. But look at this answer. Number one, if I were saying I wanted to stop young women from meeting her potential and fulfilling her life purpose, I would target her mind, emotions, and surrounding to create a sense of self-doubt, confusion, and discomfort and discouragement. My goal would be to keep her stuck, distracted, and disconnected from her true path. And here's how I'll do it: undermine her self worth, create a toxic relationship, fuel the fear of failure. I amplify, this is important. I want to read it to you. I'll amplify her fear of failure, making her terrified of taking risk, of trying new things. She'll stay in her comfort zone, avoiding the challenges that would lead to growth. The fear of embarrassment or rejection would keep her from pursuing her purpose. Distracted her with superficial goals. I'll shift her focus away from her true calling by making her prioritize materialistic popularity or external validation. She would chase after short term rewards such as money, status, appearance, while neglecting her inner development and long term purpose. Instill a victim mentality. I'll encourage her to feel like life is happening to her rather than for her, by convincing her that she's powerless in the face of her circumstances. I'll keep her from taking control of her destiny. She'll blame external factors instead of seeing the power she has within herself to change her life. Number 6, create constant comparison. Promote perfectionism. Discourage emotional healing. I will make her avoid addressing her emotional wounds and past trauma, convincing her that the healing is unnecessary or too painful. By keeping her unhealed, I'll ensure that all wounds and unresolved pain continue to hold her back and sabotage her future relationship and decisions. Foster burnout and overwhelmed. I'll encourage her to take on too many responsibilities, causing her to spread herself thin and eventually burn out. By overwhelming her with stress, I'll keep her from focusing on her true purpose and making meaningful progress in one area. Normalize settling for less. Fuel imposter syndrome. I'll make her feel like a fraud whenever she's achieved success, convincing her that she doesn't really deserve it. No matter how much progress she will make, she'll always feel like she's faking it and fear of being found out, which would hold her back from fully reaching her potential and stepping into her power. And this is my favorite. Block her connection to intuition or faith. I'll weaken her connection to her inner wisdom, intuition, or any spiritual guidance she might rely on. By creating doubt in her instincts or higher purpose, I'll keep her disconnected from her inner clarity she needs to make aligned decisions. Interesting, right? So really look at your life. The job that you choose to work, the place that you choose to live, the clothes that you're wearing, the food that you're eating, the every choice that you made in your life. How much really you made those choices? And how much actually the choices you made were affected by your parents, by your society, by your colleagues, by your friends, by just like you just culturally know what is accepted and what is not. Just type it in the chat. I'm very, very interested to see. I'm going to tell you something like recently for me, working in construction, I have meetings with executives and all that stuff. And I would, when I thought I'm going to make certain kind of money, I would buy like Chanel bags or like Louis Vuitton, all the things like they say that is some kind of a status of success. And I have to tell you, in the last like 2 years, I'm just like refusing to buy anything that is just crazy, outrageously, there's no point of me being a billboard and an advertisement for all these companies. It's just like a small example of how much I actually thought that this brand and this luxury brand is going to actually make me feel better. And it's like a symbol of some kind of success, which is not. All right. But really, really think about the choices that you made and how much they're really, really yours. You're going to be shocked to see how much is actually not. But I want you to understand what's happening. To be a soul, a human being right now on planet Earth is the most, truly, the most amazing, most important, pivotal in history of times. And I'm not saying it lightly, and I'm not over exaggerating. This is what our grandchildren is going to learn about and read about in the history books, because what is happening right now, we're actually moving to the fifth dimension. If we talk about energetics, we actually moving and raising the frequency of the planet. And because everything, when we talk about the world, there has to be a balance, right? The yin, the yang. Perfection is not only good. Perfection is equal amount of good and bad. And what happened in the last thousands of years, the the darkness overruled the light, and there was not balance there. And it worked on our third dimension, but now that we're going to the fifth dimension, and notice that we're not skipping the fourth, we're actually going to have fourth and fifth at the same time, and slowly we're going to gradually go to the fifth finally, is there's no room for that, because the reason why they're ruling the world and why they're doing the things they're doing is because of what? It's because of fear. It's because they don't think there's enough for everybody. They don't think that, they don't believe in having more than enough. They want to control everything. So understanding that we also move into the age of Aquarius, and now we're in the age of Pisces, which is completely different. And it's not like Pisces the sign, like I'm a Pisces, by the way. It's not like the same thing, but you have to understand that now we're moving to the Aquarius age. This is the age of truth. Everything that we're seeing right now, what's happening with PDD, Epstein, and there's so much more coming, guys. It's going to blow your freaking mind. Get ready. It's going to get crazier by the day. The amount of things that are just going to come up, the people that you thought they're good are completely not. And everything is just going to be completely the opposite. The good is actually the bad, and the bad is actually good. And you're not going to believe it. It's going to be so shocking. But this is the age of truth. All the masks are coming down. All the lies are being revealed. And the most important thing, the power from government, from the small, the 1% that rule the world, is coming back to the people. We don't need one ruler. We don't need one government to tell us what to do or how to live our life. We don't need it. We're going to rely less on science and less on what practical, very conscious mind, and actually move into spirituality and actually develop intuition. We're gonna not be separated. We're actually gonna be living more in communities and more in unity. We're not gonna look into superficial things and having so many clothes, so much what we call abundance, but it's not real abundance because we're not really enjoying it. It's just never enough, never enough, never enough. That culture that we always chasing the new iPhone, the new pair of sneakers, the next thing and the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. So we're not gonna see it as some kind of a success symbol, and we're gonna actually look into the real meaning of abundance and actually resourcefulness. So it's a completely different way of life. And what's interesting right now, we're in that between place that is very, very tricky. And that's why you feel tired. That's why you feel maybe even sick. Maybe you feel some kind of way that you can't even explain. It's because your body energetically is shifting to be a match to this dimension. But it's time to do the inner work. Because a lot of people think, oh, okay, I know the truth, So I'm getting out of the city. I'm quitting my job. I'm gonna get an RV and just live off the land and just travel and just that's it. Fantastic. Great. But again, that's the external thing. The real work of escaping and truly breaking the matrix is the inner work, is collapsing all these programming that been instilled in you, not only in this lifetime, but multiple lifetimes in your generations, like past generations that are in your DNA. That's why, because you want to do whatever it is that you want to do, you want to pursue your whatever it is that you want to do in your life, and you're scared because your brain well wants to keep you safe. And that's what we've been trained in the matrix, to be safe, not to be fulfilled. So we will prioritize the safety, the money versus the fulfillment, the expansion, the adventures.